Hello everyone, it's Christopher Allen of Christopher Allen Designs, and today we have a little bit of a different tutorial that I'm going to be doing for you. It is actually the basics and essentials for the Cricut design space. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to upload this to my virtual classroom, and I'm also going to be uploading this to YouTube for everyone that does not have the time or the ability to go ahead and take the class and the quizzes and things like that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump over to the computer and we're going to get started. I thank you as always for watching my videos and your support, and you have a great night. Okay everyone, like I said earlier, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do kind of a step-by-step intro to Design Space, and this is going to be a part of the series of the classes that I am offering, and I will put the link below. This is actually the first part of the class. So first what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to open up our favorite browser, and you'll type in www.cricut.com/design, and that will bring you to this page. Now this page, I'm going to show you on this page real quick what we can do here. Obviously all of these items that you are seeing here, these are the Make It Now projects. I do get a lot of questions about the Make It Now projects. They are very simple to do. We'll go ahead and I'll just show you one briefly. We'll go ahead and we'll just click on, let's say, just this Father's Day card. So we'll click on it, and it will show us here the materials that we need, the description, and also it will show us all of the instructions for it. Now, I have a subscription to the cartridges, so as you can see here, I'm subscribed to everything that's needed for the card. If you don't have a subscription, it will tell you here if you need to purchase any of these items. And then what you'll do is you'll just click the Make It Now, and it will bring up the exact cuts and the card and everything that you will need to go ahead and make this Make It Now project. So as you can see, it's right here, and everything is ready to go. Now, it will bring up everything here for us to go ahead and hit cut and go. And it's very, very simple. So you just hit go, and everything, it will show you all the different mats and everything that you will need to create this project. Down here, you can see that I do not need to pay anything for this project because I have a subscription. Now, let's go ahead and we'll go back, and I will show you what it will look like if you do actually need to pay for one of the images. For instance, I do not have any of the Anna Griffin cartridges. And the Anna Griffin cartridges, because they are actually a licensed cartridge, they do not have they are not included in the subscription. So as you can see here, it is 99 cents for each of these pieces for this project. Thus, it would be $4.95 for me to make this project. Now, I'm going to hit the customize button here so I can show you, if you do hit customize, you are able to actually customize the shapes and all of the different images that come with the Make It Now project. Whereas if you just hit the go button or the make it button, it will just allow you to go ahead and instantly cut everything. And as you see, everything did come up, and you can actually, change these. You can do whatever you would like with them now because it's not automatically going to cut. So that's the option you have with the customize. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and what I want to do is we're not going to save. I'm going to show you how to go ahead and get a project started. So what we'll want to do is you'll want to click Create a New Project. And this is our new project. Now I'm going to start at the very beginning of where I would normally begin, and that would be setting a canvas. If you like to set the canvas, sometimes I will not set a canvas. It just really depends on what you want to do. So here you can see there are tons and tons of different applications that we can have here for the canvas. If we want to do like an apron or baby clothes, or baseball or t-shirts or belts or blazers or like square cards and things like that, I do like these. Let's just go ahead and we'll click on something like a container, and I'll show you exactly what it will bring up for us. Now, when you click on the container, you can just hit done. And up here, you can also search for what you would like, or obviously here it will show you different categories of them. So we'll just click done, and you'll see that it will give us a canvas. It's very faint on the screen, but you can see here that we do have a canvas where we can add images on. Now, as you can see here, this is a canister. You can click spice jar. You could also click metal tin. Depending on what you wanted to do, you can change the size to standard or custom and change the sizes here. And you can change the color of your canvas in case your canister would be like a black canister, and you can see what it will look like in the end. Now, I do receive tons of questions about why does my canvas not change whenever I change these different properties. You do want to go ahead and click update canvas, and that will update the canvas for you. In this case, we have the front view of our standard jar. It's actually it's a storage container, I believe it's under a metal tin, and then the side view, so you can add whatever you would like to this. Now, in my case, I am not going to use a canvas, so I'll click back up to this Cricut up here, and it will take me back to the landing page. And the landing page is where you can select, again, all of your different projects and also create a new project. We're going to go ahead and just click create a new project. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to review each of these different buttons on the side, because that is really where you're going to start. Now, when you hit the insert image button, this is where you are able to insert images that you already have loaded onto or into the Cricut Design Space, which is actually under your login name based upon the cartridges that you have. I will show you in another video that will be a more advanced video of how to actually go ahead and link up your cartridges and things of that nature. Now, here is where all of the images are. This is where you're going to search for images. This is where the images that you upload are going to be, and also where the images are going to be that are subscribed, or the cartridges that you own. Now, up here, we have all images, which are all the images that you have. The image sets, which the image sets are actually, you can actually go into a set or a cartridge and pull up all of the images that are there. We also have my images, which are all of the things that I have uploaded into my design space. And then we also have my image sets, which are actually the cartridges that I own. Now, these are all cartridges that I've been subscribed to, or that I have subscribed to. Also, there are going to be all the ones that I own in here as well. So that's just a brief rundown of how you are going to go through the images. Now, what I'm going to type in here is we'll just type in pumpkin. For some reason, today in June, I'm feeling fall, very fall-like. And what I'm going to do is, you can see here, and this is a perfect example, there are still some images, like this one, that are not going to be a part of the subscription. So they are 99 cents, and I will have to purchase this image before I actually am able to cut it. So let's go down to an image that has a couple of layers, kind of like this fun, goofy pumpkin. So we'll click on it, and as I've said in my videos before, you want a green check and green box around, and you know that it's going to insert it. And let's go ahead and select another one. Now we have 2 checked here, and down here we can actually see what I have as well. These are my selected images. We'll hit back, and let's just say I just want that goofy pumpkin. Just click it again, and that will go away. So here we have just our one image that we want. We'll go ahead and we'll insert that image, and here it is right here on the screen for us. So now what I would like to review with you, because we have actually just been able to pull an image directly up, is this Layers tab. There are 3 tabs over here. Actually 4 if you do have a canvas. We're not using a canvas. We have Edit, we have Layers, and we have Sync. Let's start with Edit, because that is our first tab. Now, Edit, you must click on the actual image in order for this edit box to work. This is the width, and the height of our image. So I'm going to change that to, let's just say, 5 inches. So now our image will cut at 5 inches wide and 6.2 inches high. If we click on this lock and the lock is open, we can change the width to 7, and the height will stay the same at 6. Generally, I will make sure that this is clicked locked, because then based upon what width I make it, it will automatically adjust the height so that everything will be proportionate. So let's just do this, I guess. Let's just try 7. Okay, and that is at now 6.53. And we can also adjust up and down, side by side. And this little gray box up here, or gray circle, excuse me, once it turns to green, you are also able to rotate if you would like. So I'm going to go ahead and hit undo up here to just go back to what my original was. And undo is actually going to go back all the way back to the beginning. And we also have redo, so you can, go back and forth. Very simple tools up here at the top as well. And I'll just kind of explain the tools as I use them. Now we can also use this rotate box where we can rotate it by the degrees down here. You can click on these little circles and it will let you go all the way around. Or you can do it by typing in, let's say 90 degrees, we want it to be actually turned. So we'll hit undo again and bring us back. The mirror image will allow you to do a mirror image up or down or side by side of the actual image. And this is important if you would like to go ahead and change the positioning of your actual graphic. Now here, the position, the X and Y is going to be the position on your mat. This will make sense to you if you are going to attach something. Because if I do want to have 2 of these, so we can just hit copy up here and then paste. And if I want these 2 pieces to be right next to each other on the mat whenever they cut, then what I'll do, and we'll go back to our edit screen, this position on the Y axis down here is 0.82. Let's say we want this to be on the exact same spot. We'll do 0.82 for the Y as well, and that will just bounce our pumpkin down to the exact area that the other one is. And this is important for if you want to make cards and you want to have these lined up perfectly. Again, that's something that I will review further in another video for the class. So to attach, which is what I said earlier, which is basically making sure that both of these pieces stay exactly where you want them together on the mat. And this is important if I wanted to go ahead and bring this down here. And I wanted to make sure, for whatever reason, if I put this in front of this one, I wanted it to cut like that. I'm not sure why you would want it to cut like that, but if I wanted it to stay just like that on the mat, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and we want to put a blue box around both of our images. And we want to, up here, we want to hit attach. Now what that's going to do is that's going to make sure that both of these pieces are attached together and will stay exactly where they are on the mat. Also, what this is going to do is this is also going to automatically make all of these colors exactly the same. It will sync the colors up together. So by attaching it, it is going to keep both of them in the same place, but it's also going to make everything the same color. Another way of keeping these together, we'll go ahead and we'll undo the attach. And to keep them in the exact same place on the mat, you can also weld them together. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select both of these again, and we will hit weld. And when we weld these 2 together, they will still stay in the same place on the mat, but again, they are going to show up as the exact same color. Okay, and also with the attach tool, you're going to use that if you want to put lettering, like with the text, and I'll show you that as well, the text on top of something and attach it so that it cuts out the text inside of the box. You'll want to use that as well, but I'll show that to you in a moment. Now again, with these 2 pumpkins, I'm going to show you the contour option. So if we hit contour, okay, it's actually not allowing me to do contour on this one because it is a composite image. But what contour does is if you hit contour, you are able to go ahead and delete different pieces from your layer. And I can show you that in something that I import in. Now, I'm going to give you a review of the Layers tab, which is the Layers tab that is over here. All of these different shapes are different layers that we have here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup these layers by hitting the ungroup button that was down here, and you can see that these are all separate layers. And all of these separate layers are shown here. So all of these different layers are grouped together whenever you first bring the image in so that you're able to resize it all in the same size. Okay? And all of these on this side are the layers for the two different pumpkins that we have. If I did not want to see a layer, because I wanted to see what was underneath of it, like this mouth, if I wanted to see that there was actually lines that are going to be cut in under here to see if they're, if I'm placing the mouth, in the right place, I can either move it out of the way, or I can hit this little I button, and the I button is going to hide that layer. It's very easy to hide the layers and check what are behind them. Also, what you'll want to notice is that there are scissors in all of these circles. These scissors mean that this is going to be cut. Say that I did not want to cut out this mouth and I wanted it to be drawn on. You can go ahead and click the scissors. You'll go up to the line type and hit write. And I'll pick my color and it's going to write on that mouth instead of cutting it. Also, what we can do in this screen is hit the score button if we wanted to score those for some reason. Now, again, I don't know why you would want to score that, but you do have the option to do so if you would like. Again, the writing is this one. You pick your color. It's not going to change the color of the marker, obviously. Based upon what you do with that, that's going to be changed whenever you go ahead and put the marker in the machine, which again is something that I will teach in a later video. So we're just going to hit undo again, and we'll bring that mouth back. So now, just to review, we have all of our layers here, and we have all of the layers that are in these two different pumpkins. This pumpkin is still grouped. If you want to ungroup it, you hit ungroup, and you can pull apart all of the pieces if you would like to move them around. I'm going to hit undo. And also, there are two other icons down here at the bottom that we can review briefly, which is the duplicate. Just by hitting duplicate, it's going to duplicate that exactly the same way that you have it on the mat. And then delete is going to go ahead and delete it. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we are going to delete all of our pumpkins. We want to go ahead and we'll regroup this. So highlight everything again like we did before, hit group, and this one's already grouped, but we just want to go ahead and we want to delete both of these because we're going to go on to a different style of bringing everything in here. Now what we'll do is we'll go to our next layer, or excuse me, not layer, our next box down here, which is upload image. When you hit the upload image, there are two choices. You have a basic upload and you have a vector upload. The basic upload is going to upload any type of graphic like a JPEG, a GIF, or a PNG, or a BMP from your own computer and convert it to a cuttable image in a couple of steps. It will just be a single layer whenever you do that. Now, this is whenever you find any type of different image that you find online and bring it into the design space. The vector upload is how you're going to upload all of the SVG or DXF files that you actually can purchase from different places like Miss Kate's Cuttables, from SVG Cuts, from different places, and the different colors will be different layers. Now, the vector upload is a little bit advanced, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a completely separate video on just the uploads of the SVGs and sizing and things like that for a different time. Today, we'll just do a basic upload. So we want to continue to step one. We'll browse on the computer, and we'll go ahead and we'll find something that we want to change into the cuttable file. So what I'm going to use is we'll just do something very simple like an H monogram. This is a simple image, so we'll click here. Simple images are basically 1 or 2 or 3 colors and something that would be, easy for you to weed out all of the different backgrounds. The moderately and complex image is going to be, much more colors or many more details. And the complex images are something that are going to be like pictures and things like that. And it can actually go ahead and change kind of convert them over based on the colors you want to use. Now, what we'll do for this is I have 2 tools here that I use very often. I have the eraser, which will allow us to just erase areas to see that checkered background that makes it transparent. Or you can use the select and delete, which will go ahead and delete just these areas. Now, to review quickly with this eraser tool, this is the size that it is now. We can also make it much larger by moving this around. We do have our handy dandy delete tools, undo tools, which are great that carry over here. and our zoom in and zoom out. Now the zoom in and zoom out are very important if you're doing detailed work of removing pieces, so you'll want to go ahead and use that zoom in to click, and obviously you'll be able to see, you know, those fine areas that you're taking out. We also have a crop tool that's here that you can go ahead and select the area around your image to make it smaller. In this case, we don't need to because it's already, it's already in the area that we want. And then there's an eye tool here. Now, when you click on that and you see these red lines, that's actually what is going to be cut out, those red lines. So we'll continue to step 3. We'll call this H monogram, and then you can add tags like monogram, things like that, and then that will bring that in, and you'll hit save image, and you can see here that all of my uploaded images are down here, and you can absolutely go ahead and click on these images to put them into your actual project, or like I said, you can go back and you can search for what you named them as, and that will allow you to put them into your project. So now, moving on, we're going to go to the Add Text tool. The Add Text tool will allow us to add any type of text that we would like to our project. Right now, and what it always defaults to is the Cricut alphabet. The Cricut alphabet is actually something that is included for free with the Cricut Design Space. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and we will write my name here. If I could spell my name. We'll go ahead and we'll add in our name here. Now, the Layers tab is going to automatically pull up because this text actually has 2 layers. It automatically hides the second layer, but you can see that it will cut out 2 layers for this. Okay? Now, what I want to show you, for some reason that wasn't deleted, so we'll just delete that background of the pumpkin. What I want to show you in the Edit tool is how we can actually go ahead and change this font. Now, again, once we pull this up, there's going to be lots of varying different fonts that we can use. There are going to be the Cricut fonts that we have included with our subscription, or these fonts that are going to be, there's a charge for them because they are premium fonts. Also in here, you will find fonts that are just uploaded from your computer. For instance, like this Lithius Pro, that's a font that's actually just right on my computer. Now, what we are able to do is we are able to use, again, our slider to make it larger or smaller. And now, right now, I don't know about anybody else, but it's hard for me to really get a grasp on how big this is based on the computer screen. So what I'll look at is the size, the point size here, which again may make it a little bit difficult to realize what size this is. Again, you can change the size by changing this just like you would change the font size in your favorite word processing program. Or you can go ahead and you can scroll down here and you can see the width and the height again of this piece. So the width is going to be 10.24 inches and the height is 1 inch and 1.36 inches. So that gives me a little bit of a better understanding of how big this font is actually going to be. Also, we still have our rotate tools that we had seen earlier, and we also have our mirroring tools that we saw earlier as well. And those mirroring tools are going to allow us to take this backwards for like a t-shirt and also upside down. Okay, and we have our positioning that we actually reviewed earlier. And we're going to move up here a little bit so I can review one more little thing with you about the text. And that is you can actually center the text or go to the side. And this is going to be if you're doing more than one line. In order to edit the text, you just want to double click on the text. And you'll want to go ahead and write your second line. For instance, we'll just do Christopher Allen, my name. And we'll click away. And we can see here that now we have 2 lines. And say that we want to, again, like in our favorite word processing program, we want them to be centered. We click the center or we click over to the right. Completely up to you. Okay, now we're going to go back and I can go ahead and show you the letter spacing, which is actually the space in between the letters. So say I wanted that to be 0. I wanted my letters to be very close together. That will bring our letters very close like this. The line spacing is the space in between the Christopher and the Allen. Say we want that, you can do like say -5 so that they're very close together. Or we can do something like 0 and it will put them a little bit further apart. This is going to vary depending on your font. System fonts are going to vary drastically from your Cricut fonts, meaning that some of these, the spacing in between and the spacing up and down is going to be very different depending on what font you have here. So it's just going to depend on your font, and you can kind of, kind of maneuver things around however you would like based upon the font that you have. One other thing that I did not mention over here is these two buttons here. This button will allow you to isolate the letters, meaning that each letter is now broken into individual layers, as opposed to before, whenever all of this was one piece. So if we just go back, we can, of course, go ahead and this is all one piece again. Okay, does that make sense? We have the isolate letters button, which makes them all individual. And in order to go back from that, you can just hit undo, and that will bring and make everything one piece again. Now, like I said earlier, I do want to review with you how you can go ahead and put this lettering in a box, because I do use that often for whenever I'm doing cards. So we'll go ahead and we'll take this, my name, and we'll insert an image. Now, I just want a box or a square to put this in, so we'll go ahead and we'll pull in the square. And now it's going to give me all the ones that I'm subscribed to and ones that I own or ones that I'd have to purchase. In this case, this is one that I just want to go ahead and use that I am subscribed to, and we'll go ahead and we'll put this on top of my name. As soon as you see this, you're going to say, oh my goodness, well, how do I see? What do I do with that Christopher? We're going to go up here to the Arrange button. We'll click on it, highlight. This is Move Backward, and this is Move to Back. We want to hit Move Backward, and that will put that behind my name. Now, as we can see here, this is going to be cut out of two different materials. So we'll review this before we review the attach. If we wanted these to both be cut out of the same material, we'll go up here to this sync box, and it will say here, trying to cut two material colors. If not, consolidate below. So we'll just drag this up to the C, and that will make both of these cut on the same mat in the same color. Now, to attach it, and when I say attach, that means that this Christopher is going to be cut out of this box, so that I could take this and put it on top of a card, and I'll have the Christopher cut out, and you'll be able to see like a pattern paper behind. You'll want to hit Select All, which is up here, because that's going to select everything that we have here. Now, you would not want to hit the Select All if you do have additional layers that are showing up. Now, just a quick tip. If you do have extra layers, like say for instance, we'll just go back to the and get away. Oops, we'll just unclick the Select All, and let's say I want to just insert an image. Let's just insert. Let's say we're going to do another box because we're doing a card. So let's say there's another layer that's in here. Now, if I do want to select all, and I want to keep this here so that I don't have to go back and pull things in and pull things out, just hit that little eye icon that we talked about earlier. And that's going to not select it because it's not seen. Now again, to review, we'll go back. If you do not want to select this in the Select All, just hit the eye and it will still be there, but you are not going to select it. So we've hit Select All and we're going to hit Attach. Now what Attach is going to do here for us is it is going to cut out the square from my large piece of paper, and it's also going to cut out the Christopher that is inside of it. The Christopher that is inside of it, then in turn we can put it like a piece of pattern paper behind it, and we'll be able to see that through that Christopher that's there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back, and I want to show you one quick feature with the text that I did not review. You can also hit the delete button to delete these pieces. With this Christopher text that you see here, these letters are pretty close together. And say that I wanted them to be welded together so that all of these pieces, when they cut out, any ones that can be attached will be very easy to transfer onto a card or whatever I'm doing, if it was paper or fabric or anything like that. What we'll do is in the layers that we see here, we'll hit Weld. And when we hit Weld, it is going to put together the pieces to the best of its ability. For some reason, it was actually doing this before, and I'm not sure why. It was removing, and it still is, removing the H. And I'm not sure why it's doing that, but you can see that it was, whenever you weld it together, it is going to go ahead and put all of these pieces together. And when it puts all these pieces together, you can see that they are, it is welded. And Again, I'm not sure why it's removing that H. It may just be a glitch this evening, but everything's welded together that is close enough to be welded. Okay, and one more thing that I do want to review, we'll go ahead and delete this, is the zoom in and zoom out tools. Again, like I said earlier, this is just a very basic review of the Cricut design space so that we can just get everybody started. So obviously the minus and the plus is going to be zoom in and zoom out. Let's go ahead and insert an image so that you can see how that is getting larger and smaller. We'll just insert this edge to edge, and you can see here that this has, again, 2 layers. And if we zoom out, we can zoom all the way out, and we can zoom in based upon what we're putting in there. Okay, and of course, I'll review this one last final step. You're going to want to hit go to go ahead and cut your images out. In this case, we do have 2 different images that are going to be cut out, or 2 different layers, excuse me. We're going to have this black layer and then the gray layer, and it will show us that there are 2 different mats. Now, what I'm able to do is move this around on this page. Say that I wanted it to be, I really liked the way that the center of this piece of 12 by 12 paper looked. I can cut this out of the center and use that piece. And also, we have here the gray or blue piece, and you can move that to the center as well if you would like. Here it's going to tell us the number of mats. Right here it shows us 2. Down here it says it's a 12 by 12 material, or you can do a 12 by 24 material if you're using the 12 by 24 mat. You can do a mirror image if you are doing it for an iron-on. You do want to always make sure that you click that if you're doing an iron-on. I have made that mistake. I can't tell you how many times, and have ruined so many iron-on transfer sheets. So if you've done that as well, you're not the only one. Up here, the only other thing is going to be if you want to make more than one project. Say we're making invitations for a birthday party and we want to do 5 invitations. We'll hit apply, and it will automatically, this is one of the most wonderful things about Design Space, it will automatically allow us to take these images or layers, and it will show us that we have 10 mats, and it will show us all the different mats, and we can just continue cutting. Again, in a later video, I will show you exactly how to go ahead and load the mats in, how to change that Smart Set dial, and how to go through the different colors of mats and show you how it automatically does that for you. So we'll go ahead and close out of here, and we'll go ahead and delete this. And if you have any further questions for me, please go ahead and send me an email, or you can actually comment below, and we can review those for you. And real quick before I go, I did just remember one thing. If you want to save anything, you'll just hit the save button, and you can go ahead and save it here. Or if you want to open anything, we have our projects here that you can find. You can pick a new one. You can go ahead and open from here, or you can go ahead and save something as by changing the name. Okay? And one other important thing with the save is once you save something, you'll be able to see here if something is shared. The only way that you are able to share something is if it is something that you are able to get from the content from Cricut. Now, if you do import something, such as your own image, like an uploaded image that you have here. Like for instance, let's pull in this monogram. If I pull in this monogram, we'll make it whatever size I would like, and I go ahead and hit save. It is not going to give me the option to share it because this is something that was brought off of the internet. It is not something that is available in Cricut Design Space. Okay? So again, like I said earlier, I'm going to say goodbye now, and I thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me or comment below. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.